Did you know Venezuela was once one of the wealthiest countries in the world? Seriously, not just in South America, but globally. Back in the 1970s, it was called the Saudi Arabia of Latin America. So what on earth happened? Let's dive into the shocking history they don't always talk about. It all starts with one thing: oil, lots and lots of it. When huge reserves were discovered in the early 20th century, Venezuela hit the jackpot, money poured in, and by the 1950s, its GDP per capita was higher than many European nations. The capital, Caracas, was a glittering hub of modern architecture, luxury cars, and high fashion. It felt like the party would never end. But here's the first big twist: this immense wealth wasn't spread evenly. A small elite got incredibly rich, while a large part of the population remained in poverty. This created a ticking time bomb of social tension. Also, the entire economy became dangerously dependent on oil. When oil prices were high, everything was great, but when they dropped, the whole country suffered. This is often called the resource curse, and Venezuela became a textbook example. Then came the 1980s. A global oil glut caused prices to crash. Suddenly, the endless stream of money dried up. The government, which had been spending lavishly on social programs and subsidies, was now drowning in debt. This led to a period of severe economic crisis. People who were used to a certain standard of living suddenly found themselves struggling. The breaking point came in 1989 with the Caracazo, a series of massive riots and protests against austerity measures. It was a brutal wake-up call that the dream was over. This chaos and public anger set the stage for a new political figure, Hugo, a former military officer. He promised to use the country's oil wealth to finally help the poor and end corruption. He was elected in 1998, and his Bolivarian revolution began. Launched massive social programs called missions, providing food, healthcare, and education to millions. For a while, with oil prices soaring again in the 2000s, it seemed to be working. Poverty rates dropped, and he was a hero to many. But behind the scenes, major problems were brewing. His government began nationalizing key industries, from oil companies to farms and banks. This meant taking them over from private owners. While the goal was to give control to the state for the people's benefit, it often led to mismanagement and a steep drop in production. Experienced managers were replaced with political loyalists, and efficiency plummeted. The country that once had a thriving agricultural sector started having to import most of its food after S. death in 2013. Maduro took over. By then, the economic time bomb was about to explode. Oil prices crashed again, but this time the situation was far worse. The government had no savings, massive debts, and the productive parts of its economy had been hollowed out. To cover the gap, they just started printing more and more money. This led to hyperinflation, one of the worst in modern history. Prices would double every few weeks. A lifetime of savings could become worthless overnight. The result has been a humanitarian crisis. Shortages of food, medicine, and basic necessities became the norm. Millions of Venezuelans have been forced to flee the country in search of a better life, creating one of the largest refugee crises in the world. From being the richest country in the region to this, it is a truly shocking and tragic story of how a nation blessed with incredible wealth could fall so far. It is a powerful lesson about the dangers of over-reliance on a single resource and the complex consequences of political and economic decisions. Thanks for watching. If you found this story eye-opening, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history. See you next time.